today's video, we are going to be talking about none other than Moon Knight. Yes, Moon Knight episode 4. Yeah. What the heck? What the heck? This was such a good episode. Let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? Hello guys and welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies.
Subscribe to Dylan's Little Hobbies right now.
Okay, so we're again trying our best, absolutely trying our best to stop the return of Amit. And here we go. I pretty much just want to talk about the end of it, so let's talk about that first, because this was pretty insane. Pretty insane. So we actually end up with our boy Steve, or Mark, whatever you want to call him, because he's both. We end up with him being killed. We end up with him being shot to death. Remember, because of what happened with the moon god last episode, he got sealed away, so Mark is completely 100% man, he does not have the powers of the moon god. He cannot heal himself. He's not invincible anymore. He can die. So, here we go. He gets shot, he dies, and he wakes up in a literal mental hospital. Now, what could this actually be? I think this is just all in his head. It's obviously all in his head. Basically, what's going on here is he's just really kind of going through the motions. I mean, after all, not only do we have Mark himself, but Mark himself actually finds none other than Steve Grant. For the first time inside their own heads, they are able to actually meet each other within separate bodies, separate entities. So we now know that Steve and Mark are indeed separate entities in the same body. I do like that. So basically what happens is Mark is a mental patient. Obviously he's going insane. He's feeling a lot of pain. Trying to make sense of everything. Eventually he's rolled up into the doctor, who of course the doctor is betrayed by the bad guy in his own head. And what do we have? We have the doctor trying to convince him that that this is all real, that we don't live in a material world, but we all live in a mental, and that this is all real. Your mental state is just out of whack. You gotta get normal. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, it turns out this is all in his head. This is 100% in his head. Eventually, Mark escapes. Mark, he gets riled up, he escapes, he ends up flying into a room trying to hide from doctors trying to catch him, security trying to catch him, and who does he find but a coffin? He opens the coffin up, Steve Grant shows up. Yep, Steve Grant is there, and remember last episode, we actually got the idea that there might be a third entity within Mark's head, within Steve's head. A third one I don't even know the name of. Yeah, so Steve Grant and Mark decide, you know what, they gotta try to escape whatever this is. They gotta get back to their body. All they can remember is last time they were shot. So they should be dying. So they just gotta get back to their material form, right? And they actually run past another room with another coffin of some of somebody screaming their head off, who obviously, again, sounds like Mark and Grant, because it's obviously the third entity of Mark and Grant. I cannot wait to meet whoever that is next episode. They open up the door, and the hippo goddess comes through. Yep. With the cutest, tiniest little voice ever from a gigantic, scary hippo voice. A hippo god, you know? And, I don't know really where to go with that. I'm just interested in seeing what is next episode. Obviously, you know, there are other gods that have been, and we see this in this episode earlier on, that there are other gods that have been, captured and transported. So if this is the land of the dead, because I thought maybe this was just in Mark's head, this should be in Mark's head, and maybe now that they've gotten through Mark's head, they are presented to the door of the afterlife, of the imprisoned afterlife of the gods. So I'm thinking next episode, not only are we going to meet the other version of Mark and Steven, whoever that is, I think we are actually going to, next episode, end up going and trying to find the moon god in the space of the underworld, space of the imprisoned underworld, I'm going to call it, because you know that all the others were imprisoned in their little statues. So where do they go when they're imprisoned? They would go here. So yeah, and it would make sense that Mark and Steve would end up in a space like this, being the avatar for the moon god who disobeyed the laws of the other gods. So it does make sense that he would end up here when he died. So yeah, I think he's going to try to save him. Of course, well, here's the thing. I guess the moon god, having the moon god abilities, he already saved Mark before. So after freeing the moon god, couldn't the moon god bring them back to death, even though they did fall into that pit of water? I don't know. We will find out soon enough. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into the rest of the episode. So we have Steve and of course Mark's girl. I can't remember her name at the top of my head right now. But they're going in. They're trying to find where Amit's tomb really lies, and the key to it actually would be with her first avatar that betrayed her, and turns out Alexander the Great. Yes, we find Alexander the Great, which is great history for any of those who really like history, and I don't know history that well, so I had to go and search it up myself. It's actually really interesting, the story of Alexander the Great, and how he plays into all of what's going to happen within Moon Knight. I do like that type of storytelling that they're trying to do. It's at least entertaining, it is interesting, and it makes me interested and to know more of the actual story of Alexander the Great. So great job there. But I actually first thought that it was going to end up being King the Conqueror, because we know that King the Conqueror was once a pharaoh of Egypt, which ended up not being. But hey, that's cool. I liked the fact that they tried to bring in some real world history into the show, that, you know, because that's what Marvel tends to do a lot. They try to tie in real world things into the show. It just makes it really interesting. I do like the fact that they did that. Now, moving on, we also have, of course, Mark's girlfriend going on her own adventures. Eventually she meets up with him, and oh boy, she finds out from none other than the bad guy of the show himself that, oh boy, Mark might have killed her dad. She goes up to Steven, she wants Mark, and Mark pretty much says, I didn't kill your dad, but I was there. In fact, I died too. The only reason why I'm alive now is because of the moon god. Yeah, that I was not seeing, but God, I'm telling you, when he died, oh my God, when he died, I was not expecting that. Of course, you know, I could also talk about the scary monster that was trying to perform mummification on everybody, and that was gruesome. That was good. That was entertaining. But no, the best part of the show for me, honestly, was just the very end, with confirming that they actually have a third head within them, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Let me know down in the comments below your thoughts about episode 4 of Moon Knight. Again, there's a lot more that I am not talking about, so feel free to chat about that in the comments below, because there is a whole lot more to this episode that I didn't even get to discuss. I just wanted to definitely discuss the thing at the end, because that really surprised me. I was really enjoying that part of the episode. Thank you guys for watching. I had no expectations that he was gonna get shot and dead. I had no expectations that was gonna happen. Wow. Thank you guys for watching, and I am out. Bye.
Subscribe to Dylan's Little Hobbies right now.